Hey everybody, it's Mark Coleman, Adam Wynn with Team UpNorthJournal. We're getting ready to go through the Sling Pack from EZ Kut and just kind of talk about each one of our tools and how to best use them. There's so many different options and uses for it. So we're going to do our best to kind of demonstrate them as we go along, explain a little bit about them, and have fun with it. First, we need some personal protective equipment. So we're going to put on our bare knuckle gloves. And as you can see, there's a lot of stuff on this Sling Pack. One of the first things is the carbide sharpener. It's a nice little tool to make sure you keep your printer blade sharp. I throw mine on a key and just stick it on the backpack so it's with me, easy to grab. One of the tools that's in here is the force printer. This is the Kamikaze force printer. This is really good for your delicate trimmings that you're doing around landscaping at home, like your rose bushes, where you want a nice clean cut on that stem. It's got a quick locking device up here on the blade, not back on the handle, and it's very ergonomically designed to fit your hand, so when you go in, you're actually cutting on the level and you're not stressing that wrist when you're doing it. Here's an actual demonstration of a clean cut on that. You just easily snips that off. You can snip it at an angle. You can snip it straight through. Just powers right on through. It's a very, very clean cutting tool. Very good, like I said, for your landscaping around the house. Something else that EZ Kut comes up with is probably my favorite tool. This is the ratchet printer. We got green and we have pink. I prefer the pink in the field because I drop these, I'm going to lose them. Those are a little easier to find if I drop them. But these are the ratchet printers. This is probably, in my opinion, the best EZ Kut tool that they've made. It's very universal. It does a lot of great trimming, and for someone who doesn't have real good grip strength, being it's a ratchet printer, you can either snip straight through, power through, or you can ratchet. 1, 2, 3, 4, you're through. And it just cuts a clean cut, and it almost becomes fun. You almost feel like you just got to trim everything you see in your path. And since I'm 6 foot tall, when I'm going through the woods and I'm carrying my bow, I want to be able to trim at least a 7 foot arch, so I'm not making any noise or getting hung up on anything while I'm in the woods. So I just have these in my pocket. Usually I wear these cargo pants and I just throw them in the pocket. They're easy to grab, they're easy to throw. One hand, you can lock it, you can unlock it with one hand if you want. But just a really powerful tool. These do have a lifetime warranty. Matter of fact, EZ Kut has a lifetime warranty on everything that they produce. So if you do torque this blade and you break it, you just call EZ Kut. Customer service will send you a new blade. I've had this one for 3 years, and I probably have made close to 7,000 cuts with this one, and it's still going strong. And like I said, if you dull the blade, if maybe you get into something and it doesn't quite, if you cut it into like a nail or something, or a piece of fence that's in a piece of wood, that carbide sharpener will take that burr right off that blade. Just a few little strokes on there and you're good to go. Like I said, this becomes addictive when you're in the woods because you're constantly wanting just to trim things, just because it makes the area look better. That's the ratchet printer. Down here in this pocket, by the way, this is a Sling Pack that carries most of your tools. Like you can see, I've got it fully loaded with a lot of stuff. Each one of these pockets is designed for a specific tool. This is the Wow saw. It's a folding saw with a metal locking device on it, so it stays really strong. It's not plastic, it's not going to break on you. With this blade, it cuts on the draw, and this is your best little friend right here for your pinky, because this keeps your pinky from sliding anywhere. And since it cuts on the draw, you can slide forward and it cuts on the way back. You don't have to put hardly any effort at all, and it's just going to start eating through that wood. And I'm just barely hanging on to this. I can hang on to it with a thumb and a finger, but since it cuts on the draw, you've got the ability to really be able to pull back a lot stronger than forcing that blade in and making it bind. It's got these what they call raker gaps to help pull the debris out, so you're going back in with a clean cut. And it just I mean, I'm not even putting any weight on this, and it's just going to continue to cut all the way through here until it gets to the very end. It's just that sharp, that durable, and it's so easy and smooth. It doesn't bind up. The way the blade is designed, it's got a hollow bevel that you can barely see. And when you get to the end, you can cut it right off. And then, of course, you've got a little extra. You just chop that off as well. But these teeth are very, very sharp. There's a groove in here. You can feel it, but you can't see it. That allows air in between the blades so that the blade doesn't hang up when you're trying to cut. And the other great thing is this never gets hot. You could cut for 5 minutes and the blade's not going to get hot, so you don't have to worry about burning yourself. And it collapses, it folds back up and puts in your pocket. These are great for camping. You can throw it in your back pocket, you can throw it in your backpack, and you know, kids can get it out. It's not going to open on its own because it's got a lock on it. So you don't have to worry about it opening up in your pocket and you go to kneel down and it ruins a pair of jeans. The other items we have here is there's kamikaze saws. We have the curved blade kamikaze. As you can see here, same blade. These are carbon sharpened. They're finished in Valencia, Spain. And there's 79 teeth on here. And again, your pinky's best friend is right here because it helps draw it back. And since it cuts on the draw, same thing. Slide forward, draw back, slide forward, and draw back. It's just going to constantly just continue to pull that debris out of there. And it's just going to draw that right through the piece of wood that you're working on with no problem whatsoever. I like the curved saw because with the curve, as you're pulling back, it's constantly pulling down on the wood and cutting even faster. There are times when I want the straight saw, especially if I'm going up straight on something above my head and I just want to power through forward versus trying to draw it back to me. And same thing, cuts on the draw, lightweight, there's very little effort. And if you do torque this, you bind this, a lot of saws will bend and they won't come back to their straight shape. These will not. You can flex them. They're going to go back to being straight. They're not going to remember where that was when you torqued it. So that's one of the great things about these tools. Again, lifetime warranty. If for some reason you did manage to break one of these tools, call customer service. They'll make sure they get you a replacement. A couple other things that we have is this guy right here. This is called the Lil G. And the Lil G is a pocket-sized lopper that just absolutely has an insatiable appetite. This blade right here, it's a little thicker than the rest, and it has the ability to power through. Now you'll notice you have a black handle and you have a red handle. The black handle is for powering through. So if you've got something small and you just want to power through, it'll handle it. If you want to ratchet through, use the red handle. So if you get on a piece and you know, we'll just take the big one here. And I want to ratchet 2, 3, 4, and it's just very light and easy. And it's going to cut right off there. It is designed to really eat through the wood. Here's a piece here maybe I can get. And just ratchet right through. And if you get these small things, just snip them off. The Lil G weighs less than 2 pounds. It's like 18 inches long. It will actually fit under your car seat. I've actually thrown it in my cargo pants and just carried it into the woods, draw it back out. Very user-friendly, very compact. And the other great thing is it's rolled steel. That's what makes it so lightweight, but it also reinforces the strength of this. Every part on here is replaceable, so if you do damage it or break it, you can replace just the part, not have to replace the entire piece of this. You can replace it all, but all you have to do is call customer service. It's, like I said, it's 100% guaranteed lifetime warranty on this. So, you know, if you lose a bolt, if you bite into something that's got metal in it, we'll replace it for you. And then we move on to the big guy. This is the G2 lopper. Now the G2 lopper is kind of unique in a couple of respects. One, you got the extended handles. So for a guy that's 6 foot tall, I can reach, 8, 9 feet. But I have to keep widening it out to get the opening I need. So I can't cut a very thick limb over my head, because as I go higher, I get a smaller gap to cut. Well, EZ Kut's fixed that. They come out with what they call the maximizer. And that's this little hook right here. You flip that in, it automatically opens the jaws maximum wide, and it keeps them there. So then when you're going up here, you've got maximum width for maximum height. I can cut a limb at 9.5 feet that's 2.5 inches thick. And the great thing about this is just like the little G, get the red handle, get the black handle. Power through with the black handle, red handle, you can ratchet through. So as you're up here on this big limb and you're trying to torque it, instead of having to really flex to cut all the way through, you just ratchet through and it'll cut right on through, just as smooth as can be. So that's a few of the tools that come in the sling pack that you can put in here. The sling pack itself, you can buy that either by itself or you can buy it fully loaded. But if you go out to like ezkut.com, or it's ezkutproducts.com, look it up, take a look, see what's out there. I highly recommend that if you're really wanting to just start out with something, to start out with this one right here, the ratchet printer. This is probably one of the greatest tools in my opinion. One of the other things that the ratchet printer can do is it can cut a circle cut, where if you get on a limb, and I'm gonna try to find me a small part of a limb here, that's probably gonna be this piece here. I'll turn that around. And I'm just gonna kind of clean off some of this little debris here. And then I get on a limb that's like this, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can really get a good bite on it because it doesn't sit all the way back in the jaw. What you can do with this is if you can get just the opening around the limb and you rotate it towards the bottom jaw side and just slide that around, it's going to automatically eat into the wood, and then you can ratchet and it's going to cut right through. You can do up to 1.5 inch diameter limb, and it's just going to slide on, spin it around, and we call this the circle cut. If you don't want to ratchet, just spin it another time. And once you spin it enough times, it's going to eat all the way through. So cut all the way through that. So I recommend this as a beginner. Universal. If you're going to do a lot of limb trimming, I would recommend one of their curved saws or straight saws. These come in real handy for those limbs that are 6-10 inches in diameter. These do really well. You won't be wore out by the time you're done cutting through those. If you're into trimming bushes, the little G is probably my favorite when it comes to getting something compact that's going to do the entire job, whether it's a 1/8 inch all the way up to 2.5 inch. I mean, you can get a lot in there, and this reinforced jaw really helps cut right through there. The other thing the G2s are very good for is a lot of people think, oh, I need to trim that limb. Let me get my G2 loppers out and let's reach up here. But I've got a lot of these really thick bush. They're like a briar bush, but they're even thicker and worse. They're like 1 inch in diameter. And sometimes you can't get to the base of them without getting in the middle of that briar bush. With this, you can actually reach up and reach underneath and get to the base of that briar bush without getting in the middle of it and trim the base of it. So you can use this down on the ground. You can use it all the way up over your head. And it just keeps you from being in the middle of that briar bush when you're completing that cut you want to make. And so many times you get in there and you're like fighting to try to get a piece of it off and you're trimming all the outside edges. Now you can get to the base, cut the base off, and be done with that project a lot faster. But again, these are EZ Kuts. Go out to ezkutproducts.com, check it out. If you see something you want, you can use my code. I've got a personal code. It's MC15OFF. And MC15OFF gets you 15% off your entire purchase. And EZ Kut has free shipping on everything. So you can buy one piece, buy multiple pieces, everything's free shipping. So give them a look, give them a shout. Go out and check out their Facebook page, ezkutproducts.com. I'm Mark Coleman with UpNorthJournal. Have a good day.